just a short snippet of DMX children. Well, his original three, and Tashira and his ex fiance, and she had his one of his other daughters, Sasha, and the son that she has with him. And apparently, they put together some kind of event. They were honoring DMX and Yonkers, and um, she either didn't invite uh, Xavier and Tashira and his other original children, or she didn't have them on the program and didn't have them involved. And the mic was cut when Xavier called it out. Oh man! Not only was the mic cut, everybody was leaving. Like they got a right to be mad at him. Listen, cool, you having an event, but the event is a DMX event. So that's about DMX and his bloodline and his legacy, more so than it is about you. It can never be more about you than it could be about them. So for everyone who was there that actually got upset and felt like he needed to stop, listen, these things happen when people perish, right? You don't get to have a smooth fun day or a day without this or whatever you want. And just because you don't want them you don't want them to ruin your day. And none of us have a say because you would prefer the new chick or what, I don't know what the heck. So it appears that the legal situations were resolved, and Tashira is no longer, like, I guess, in charge of the air. It's like she's not the state, it's the girl. Yeah. I don't know how that would happen when he has living children because he didn't marry her, so that was weird. But, shout out to Xavier for standing his ground. And I saw the post to Shira afterwards. Hey, do your thing. Nobody knows what y'all go through behind closed doors. And we know a lot about what she went through, right? That whole thing was just hard to watch. It was. Um, but it's a lot of people online, with their opinions too, and they talking shit and they think that Xavier should have not said anything and he should have just wasn't he mad at his dad? Did he not speak it with his dad? A part of me just want to say shut the F up and all that other stuff, but you got to also think about it like from another perspective because what if the rose that was your situation, and say your children didn't F with you, but then try to come and cause disturbances and state claim and all this other stuff. I'm leaving without making things clear and doing all that is a mistake people make, right? So my shit will be laid out. And once it's laid out, then my intentions of what I want would be clear. So it will be no mistaking. But in this situation, they went through a lot. But that was because of DMX. That was because of the demons that he was fighting and the drugs, which is the same thing, demons. They did, but they did some repairing like at the very end. I remember that shit like, because it just it's deep, and nobody can ever talk down on Tashira's spot on authority or rights and her children either. That's just crazy. But shout out to Xavier for doing his thing, you know? Um, I love it when the trolls show up because they don't hesitate, And I will be on here longer, but I'm in the middle of doing some shit. And yeah, that's what that is. I just was watching that and I wanted to say something. Shit, well, I'm at it. Let me throw in something else too. The whole situation with Big Ticket and his wife. Mm-mm-mm. I guess she looked good enough, or she looked good enough, and she would make a great beard. So there's that. But what's more important to me than all that is the situation with her daughter. Wow, just wow. Her ex, who is the child's father, he kind of believes the daughter might still be alive. I think she been missing for like 8 or 9 years, and he still, man, he got a raw deal, right? Y'all better be careful. Y'all better be careful. You know, God damn, be careful, cause that's crazy as hell. The rundown of her credentials, and then she's this type of chick. I mean, let's fast forward to Big Tigger. For you to come on here and post your face looking like that and be like, ask my husband what happened. We know what you're insinuating. We know what you're trying to say. So there's no mistaking there. Cause no husband, I mean, nobody. We know what she's doing. So how can you overlook that? All the rest, we're hearing about it, but we literally sat here and watched her come out here and do that shit. That's crazy. It's always the craziest thing in the world to me when you have people who are a couple and people who are family, but especially if you're a couple, especially if you're married, and you can't deal with your shit, the same way it's your marriage. To bring it to come out and then be dirty with it too, like I never get it. I never understand it. Like that's you can't unring that bell, man. And I don't think she cares, but that's even scarier. But that's on you dudes. Like, I mean, she looks great, right? Very pretty. Credentials they're super impressive for somebody who is running around here just moving like they don't care. There's nothing to look forward to. So I'm just gonna be a menace. Like I mental health checks much, guys. Like hmm, wow. Just wow. Then she had another one, and she named that one after the missing daughter, which I don't get because the child is still declared missing, which is, there's a lot they're not saying there. There's a lot they're not saying there. And, I think the dad should like try to do a GoFundMe so he can just keep looking for his child. I mean, at least get some answers. Like, they haven't declared her deceased, and it's been as long. The lady is weird. It's a little close to home, so I ain't gonna say too much about her. She named her daughter after the daughter, but as far as they know, that daughter may still be alive. If they want to declare her deceased, stop declaring her as missing and just, how they switch that over to body recovery, hopefully, or whatever reward for the cold case information. Then, maybe because it just was so hard for her, she want to do it in. I wouldn't do that to my daughter though. That's like you named her after her sister who with all that type of. I wouldn't do that. Maybe middle name. That to me says a lot. It says this chick is cuckoo. She cuckoo for real. And apparently, it's such a creepy story. It is. Be- just because you cuckoo. because that whatever didn't work out and do want it to be in his daughter life and you just there's nothing that can make sense about any of this with her. So it's got to be something off or something controlling her because other than that, what's the point? Like, and where is it coming from? They need to fucking examine her brain when it's all over with. Like, this shit is so weird. So weird. So weird. And he said he tried to, tell Tig about it. Again, beard. I'm calling it lavender beard, whatever the heck. I'm thinking, mhm. And apparently he rubbed her the wrong way, like he did. What's her name? The one that put him on blast about the other situation. But at the end of the day, that girl is out here somewhere, or her remains. Like, why would you? There was no potential of her getting her back. Like, I'm pretty sure there was. So, what would be the point in her being missing? Because he can't ever see her again. Tell me that ain't it. I just don't get it. Like, why would she just not be here? Because I believe the mom? Yeah. She left that girl in the car for 8 hours while she's in a casino. Or maybe that's how it was back then, but I know now that wouldn't fly. She go to jail. She do some time. Hell, before I saw that, maybe that's what made it come up. They was on TikTok, they was busting out some BMW for a child. Like windows were all the way up in Cali. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's sad. If I was Tigger, not being a male or anything, but just let's say that's your position. And the ex call you and be like, hey, this one you're married to had a child with me. I don't know if they told you about this. I don't know what story they meant, whatever. Because it don't look like he really did. But okay, lavender and beard. So makes sense. Okay. But this is how she was. This is how she tried to trump me up with all these charges. This is how she was doing with our daughter. And she left her in a car for 8 hours. I don't know if you know that, by the way. And she missed it. I'm looking for it. And I just really think old girl has something to do with it. And at the end of the day, hey, just be careful. And I think he said he did that before he had a child with the girl. Tigger had a child with her. Somebody else had a child with her. Y'all really just, yeah. But that's what you want, right? Okay, cool. There you go. Dude out here broke from battling with her for the child, and he also broke so broke he can't forever look for his child. Imagine this could be years, 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 lifetime, and there's no time for gaps. You don't need to miss you're missing it. Leads. People pass away that could have told you some or told it all. They could have had all the answers. Like, I just don't y'all got daddy clubs and shit? Like the Hurt Twins. What's up with that fake ass organization you got? Like, what are y'all doing? Because there should be, because I heard about some things that some guys in another group I was in was like, they got some father shit going on. Like, you can't tell me y'all dudes should have this and that's I'm being dead ass serious, not just trying to talk shit. But yeah, you deserve somebody to talk shit to you because there's no way in the bloody pit of Hades, the way y'all be getting messed up with this shit with these chicks. I mean, even if you get with a girl and boom, 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 y'all really wasn't compatible like that, but you did the dumb shit anyway. Now you have a child, right? And you out here doing dude shit, and then you're like, she's crazy. Well, You triggered it. Uh, and hey, eat it. You didn't, that's what you get, right? Cool. Now, but this is where you're at, and now you're fighting. I don't see, as much as y'all go through that or claim you go through that, and you have weird chicks like this right now, like this dude literally don't know where his daughter is. Can you imagine him on a second basis? And it's already been like eight. Why y'all don't got funds? Why y'all don't got organizations? Why y'all don't put like 10% of your paycheck or 1%? I don't know, each one of you into the fund. So every time a bro need a turn, and that should be often, right? Should y'all be getting to? Boom, there it is. And you got the whole support team. You crazy as hell. You mean to tell me this dude sitting out here, and because he broke, he can't even do anything past where he stopped at back then. And that wasn't even really good. System wasn't, doing right back 8 hours, and he still couldn't get custody. He went broke on that shit. And then the girl gone. Mom's def apparently, allegedly. I don't know. Uh, That is so depressing, man. That is so depressing. This dude put a message out in the ethers for his daughter, like, and she out here naming children after her. Like, you said Diddy behind me? Ain't no type of hype. Seems y'all trolling on. I'm be smoking on them trolls. Hmm. You never say anything interesting, though. You don't. You really don't. Like, you literally never say anything interesting. What's up, sleek hobbies? I catch a stray in there every once in a while. Um, but I don't care about none of these comments. I keep telling y'all that, and y'all just don't. You still gonna show it. That's what's up. Hell, shit. Welcome to the jungle, cause you make that shit pop a little bit. You be telling YouTube that yeah, two more, cause yeah, that should be empty. Okay, you want some lime water? Look at my nails. Push my cuticles back. I'm gonna be doing those later, but right now I'm sewing. It's crazy. I'm talking about that, but y'all in the chat. Cause y'all don't like the shit I be on. You don't like the shit I talk about. I don't give no fuck. All right? You a bitch. Okay? When I see you come to me, which you shouldn't, that doesn't make any sense, but neither does this. But then maybe, I don't know. Maybe I could respect you, but probably not. But I turn everybody away. I really do. I really do. Because 9 times out of 10, they want to you motherfuckers, or they want to like, oh girl, allegedly. Like, just y'all, it's people just weird out here nowadays. And I just don't I think people need to get their shit together more. I know you guys can really stick together and build support systems like that. Like, you can't tell me this dude is just, yeah, he fucked up with her, but he don't got no answers. His daughter's out here, and I think, let me see, because I'm trying not to really say much, um, but I think that I think the brother should get help. I think there should be resources that should come his way. He should get information. He should be getting inboxes like, here, try this, try that. There's this place, there's that place. Y'all brothers need to start putting shit together, because it could be your turn. Y'all out here making babies. It could be your turn. And the children need somebody to fight for them, even if they took them off. They took them out of here, which this young lady, um, to be a father and want to help your child, and you have good reason to believe that she needs your help, and it's quite possible that she out here, she needs your help. It's really, really possible that his daughter's out here and she needs his help. He just got to figure it out. He got to find her. He got to get to her. But he don't have the funds to even start. Like, you know, that's pretty bad for him, bad for her. Uh, Hopefully Tigger walks away from her, but oh, he got a kid with her too, so there's that. Prayers for the remaining children. I don't know. Y'all want me to read this? I don't know who. I don't know. Who the guy. What he got going on. How long ago was that information put out there, and all of this stuff? But don't give up on your daughter, son. Hang in there. I meant sir, because I ain't mean son. But hopefully with this story circulating, people will, the right people will get in touch with him and call me talking about who's this? Weirdos. And when I saw the number, I saw the area code. It's from my home state. I started blocking because dude, who same dude. I know the same dude. I don't know who the dude is, but it's like he did that shit last week. Then he did it like it's periodically, but it's over a stretch of time. Some who is this? Who is this? A call. Maybe don't say anything. Just get the like the heebie-jeebies or something and hang up. Call another time and then just be like, "Who is this, bitch? I don't do that. You call me. That's rude. You get your ass whooped for shit like that. Where I'm from. You know, you don't do that." So I'm blocking the numbers. Then he calls just now, and I'm answering. He's like, "Who is this?" And I'm like, No, you can't be serious. Like, you called me. Try it again. Try it again. Cause no, a missed call. I'm like, okay, is he retarded? Like, what are we really doing? Like, bro, whoever you are, play with it. Okay, play with it. Play with it. He sound well past, his mid-30s. So y'all weirdos just be weird, you know? Weird. And a weirdo would be weird on you 10, 20, 30 years down the road. And you either forgot about the weirdo or you never even really knew the weirdo was weird on you. You just, might have had an inkling that motherfucker was weird on you. Or you might have had a little encounter or something. You had to deal with it. But it happens. Some of us experience it more than others. So it's like they don't stick, but you never leave them, you know? That's another thing. You gotta be careful about the shit that you attract. Like the shit you attract, you know? All of us. Clearly, I'm not exempt. But you gotta be careful about the shit you attract, you know? Them guys, Tigger and the other baby daddies, I feel for them because she's a doozy. And apparently her and Tigger situation is really just getting started. Unfortunately, I hope he's good and prepared because for the child, protect the child. Don't take it lightly because it ain't finna be no game. That little shit she did with the little ask my husband, and then gonna tell Lauren DeRosa nothing. He didn't do anything, girl. You might as well not even told said anything after that. Like that really just made you look even more like yeah, she's more than certified for sure. But what was that channel I saw her on? Is probably Leah Gord. And these girls do this. They'll show them just as beautiful. They'll highlight all their attributes and everything, which is weird. Let me go ahead and call that out too, because this needs to be said. I watched O'Shea do one after that. I said, let me get two different, get the story from two different people. And O'Shea did a good job. He covered some points, he highlighted some things, and he was relevant. But I think he was coming from the aspect of what she had going on with Tigger. He didn't really get into the child and all that other stuff. Now, Leah Gore was coming from the story about the girl. So when she ran down the history of the lady and the baby daddy, and then she had another baby, okay, then she dated blah blah blah, whatever, whatever. I don't know. She hooked up with Tigger and they got together, they had a baby. Then she started going all into that drama with Tigger. And this is what I don't understand. Why did you do that? Like I really don't understand why you did that. Because that's the point where you lose people and you also cheapen and lessen the importance of the fact that this little girl is out here. That Tigger happened to be the husband. Old boy called him. He talked to him. He told him he really didn't want to get involved with it. That was it for Tigger. That was it for Tigger. Of course, mentioning what she did with him and maybe the response and all that, but he, you don't go into all the other stuff, playing the interview on the Jamie Foxx show with the chicken, what she said, and like really covering that story like that's the main story. That shit was so tacky and weird. It was so tacky and weird. It really, really was. And I'm like, okay, I'm watching this thinking, okay, she's gonna tie this into something to have to do with the little girl, like to maybe say that situation, and maybe others or, led him to pick this beard without checking her out, and then boom, bingo bango, blah blah blah. Maybe a PSA to Tigger, like heads up or some shit. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe that's what this is about, but really, it was she wanted to get messy with that tea. Tacky. I can't fuck with it, because the story was supposed to be about the little girl. Story is supposed to be about the little girl. And then when you talked about the chick, she just, kept showing her all done up and beautiful. And she was like, oh, and she bitch learned Russian. I don't know. She's fucking Grand Wizard somewhere. She's doctor 5 times over. She's like 4-time world boxing champ. Like she was just running it, running it. Okay, what else she got? Because when I go over here, I'm hearing she did this, she did that. And it was really weird. And the story with the guy, that was pretty bad. And here we are. You got the little girl who nobody knows she is, allegedly. Plans to pick that on your thumbnail. Y'all need to stop like, you know, some of it- now, like, like, going out, six, I'm talking visuals. Yeah, so don't worry about that. I'm about to back out here. Try to find me from the top stuff like that. Yes. And because it's so weird. It's so weird. It's so juvenile. These comments be so juvenile. Mm. That's what me. She got money. So, anywho, I find what the topics I was discussing to be able. So, there's that, and back to what I was doing because I it's raining out here. I mean, soggy, but I'm going to Florida this time. And check the weather there, man. Check the temperature and everything, right? Yes, I had to turn the AC on back here. My phone is about to catch on fire again. And that's something. So I could push y'all up, but I'm probably gonna have to turn. So I got my stuff out. You know, I same man, same man. Okay, so that's y'all calling and pranking me. Okay. That's y'all mofos calling me. Interesting. Yeah, that's how they feel. I guess I did my sleeper shit. What's a store in bed? I was gonna. So y'all calling and pranking, playing on my phone, corny. But they be y'all in the chats all day long. Y'all be calling and y'all heard Carmelo them people talk about how they harassing them. No, saying nothing new to can all. I know that just the same way y'all feel like um Carmelo can't do what he did. And which is defend himself. And his parents, should be punished for having him. Or hell, for them being born. Shit like that. That's how y'all think. I know you don't like the shit I be saying. But get back in the chat and type some stuff. Come on. Impress me though. You know what I mean? Y'all come in here. Nigger. Are you serious? What's this shit I hear about Michelle Obama? We charged up, yeah. Yeah. You know, see the thing is, we gotta stand with Michelle on that. I wouldn't normally mind my business, but y'all doing that because she black. And she don't do y'all like that. I know her husband. And you really should be liking them because they did more to help y'all cause than to hurt it or to help their own people. So like I understand. Trust me, I understand how y'all are. It don't matter. The nerve of them to be black and to, be in the White House that black people built after you came over here and stole land and actual people and all the other dirty, horrible, stinking, terrible things, naughty, naughty, naughty people that you have done. And Michelle don't go around talking about y'all and bringing up things. See, she can bring up things now. Michelle can bring up things. Michelle can bring up things. I can bring up things. Anybody can bring up things. But we just don't usually randomly be going around just attacking y'all people like that with some awesome, super offensive stuff at the most inappropriate time. But I also gotta say this too to my people. Okay, I'm not talking to you other ones. What's up, Chattergrills? How you doing? Good to see you back and being positive. Um, to my people, I just want to say, I tried to tell y'all this a couple of years ago. I hope more of you will listen, and maybe like you guys will really listen. These people have always been at war with you, but like this whole talk about race war and all that, they already that's already where they at, you know. And you give them advantages because you don't believe, you don't want something to be. So, you all just move like, like females generally do. I want him to be the guy for me. I want him to be a nice guy deep down inside. I want him to change for me. I want him to never cheat on me. I want him to like just be the best thing ever. And so, because I want that, and I would love to see that in him, then, that's Disney all day, baby. That's what it is. Throw some glitter in the air, some butterflies and shit. And then black people move like that when it comes to the realities of this world. They are already at war with you. They have always been at war with you since day one, right? But this race war thing, it's not, how they used to say that the revolution would not be televised. We know what that meant, right? Same thing. This will never look like what you think it's gonna look like. It's not gonna come how you expect it to come. It's like Jesus coming back. Like people say, oh, it's gonna be like a thief in the night. Oh, he gonna come and just I don't know. They said some other stuff, but thief in the night is the one I can remember the most. Which is weird, because how can you give it a description? Is that like in a Bible or something? Like where y'all get that from? I thought it was just we don't know the day, we don't know the hour, we don't know how, we don't know. Like, I thought the point was that he's not gonna really let us know because the whole time we've already been knowing that we gotta prepare because it's happening. We gotta prepare because it's coming, it's close. We gotta prepare because you're in the midst of this. It could be any second. It's up on you. I just ain't came yet. It's the same thing with that. As they active, they active. They just being slick about it. Don't let them mofos play chess. On the people who, we all the pieces on the board. Come on, don't try to beat us in chess. But all these fairy tales and fantasies about some of them like me, or I don't know what you think they won't do, or not yet, or you got time. Yeah, I keep telling y'all, half y'all ain't in shape. Okay, you know, half y'all ain't in shape. You can't do shit. Okay, if y'all ain't in shape, you can't really do nothing. I'm talking about, child, you can't do nothing. Nothing like nothing. You're already so far removed from who you should be, And trust me, they stay ready on all levels. Now, the physical fitness and the physical anything, they can never be us. Say girls made of sugar and spice and everything nice, and boys uh, what how that song used to go? What they say y'all was made of? It wasn't no lie though. That song was always true when it came down to the boys. And I used to wonder that. I used to wonder, I still do, why we gonna say the bullshit when it comes to the girls, and then when it comes to the boys, you're gonna pretty much tell the truth. Now, I think there's something deeper to that, because all these little stupid nursery rhymes and stuff, they came from something. Some of 'em was like cool, like not all, but something. Just to kind of jog your memory on some stuff, to like kind of point you somewhere, to like just give it, like, stirring the spoon in a cup. And that one is because they used to say something about boys are made of dirt or clay or something like that. And that's we know what clay and dirt is. That's flesh. That's flesh. It's flesh. Especially clay. Clay specifically, you know, like who told us as a youth that that would be an insult to guys? And I used to say to the, girls, like, they're not gonna get mad at that. That's not gonna hurt their feelings, like, if they were to say something like that to us, because 'cause we're thinking dirt, dirty, clay, red, all over, dirty, like, dirty. To us, that's offensive. We don't wanna hear that associated when describing us. But to guys, that's a fucking compliment. Clay? Alright, cool. Clay is way cooler than dirt anyway, like Clay was hot shit, but I don't know where y'all come from, but that's literally flesh of uh, those who were here, who roamed this earth, who who had a whole different situation going on that we um should be learning about, you know? And you never know the fullness of the advantages that your enemies have. Because y'all talk about they got the fat again, they got this, they got that. To be able to take over people, I'm talking about take over people, to like make change them completely, change their culture, their mindset, to program them, to embed them, to like study them fully to where you know them way better than they probably, unfortunately, for the most part, will ever know themselves. Like, to do all that, you got a whole lot of knowledge about a whole lot of shit. Probably everything. Your average, when it comes to that, probably know way more than your whole bloodline put together, to be honest. And if they don't have the exact knowledge themselves, they definitely got access to it. But I definitely believe there is so much of it that it has to be taught, to each um, member of the family. Like it's so important for us, to learn all we can, about things because we're in the dark. We're in the dark and none of this is real. And you gotta get past that. You gotta know who you are. You gotta know what's up. You gotta then you can start tapping into other shit that you just never even imagined, and that includes that black boy, black girl magic that y'all be you be claiming it, but climb your ass up there and get it, cause that's a pretty tough climb. And they already done start firing off on y'all. And they just turning up the juice. And you gotta be willing to fire back. And this Carmelo situation lets me know that, really we need to get together. The Malcolms need to get together and y'all Martins can do what you want to do. And I'm being nice by calling you Martins. But us Malcolms, we definitely need to get together because we know what Brother Malcolm said we need to do. And that's important. It's important. Just do a little scroll, do a scroll, go ahead and write shit down and just look at how many of these motherfuckers out here going against Carmelo. You know, there's no room for doubt or negotiations or anything with that one as far as I'm concerned. Anybody going against him and his parents, that's a absolute violation. And to me, the reward for that, if you want to call it, is termination. It's full on termination because you shouldn't have, that should have, we need you out the way. We need you out the way. We need you out the way. And, you're like cockroaches and there's so many of you and shit like that. And we need you out the way. And nobody cares about your perspective or your points and nothing. There's nothing to argue. It's what it is. It's what it is. You are who you are, and there's no um because what they gonna do to you, you already know. Okay, you already know. It's just eh, eh, you already know. But hey, you don't care, and that's fine on you. But you gotta be up out the way. You gotta be up out the way. We're gonna have to fuck you up anyway. We got to fight you anyway. So um, you gotta go. I don't know what you talking about because I'm not even finna read none of that. If you come in here trying to argue your points or whatever the fuck you're talking about, and I'm not saying you got to come in here and sing my praises or anything. Like I love that comment, Joe. Because it's just positive. Like you just came in on some positives, some positive, and I'm glad that you love my energy because then it was meant for you to feel it and get that from it. So as far as all this other stuff, and then you talking about where I'm from. Did you send me some money today? Cause if you want me to like tell who are you and why are you asking me where am I from? Where are you from? I don't even know who you are on this internet. I don't know who y'all are that keep calling my phone. Okay. I don't know who the hell y'all be that be trying to talk to me in the street. I don't know who y'all be that be trying to anything, but trust me, if you don't encounter me, then you see how I move. You already see what it is. So, that's that. But don't come in here asking me who I am. We're not even talking about that. I appreciate that. You too gonna swallow that good, but I appreciate that. But just for if you look in the description, you can find other ways that won't scrape it like that. So, anywho, so I don't be on here too long. Um, my pickup tonight is earlier than I would have liked. What was I saying? Y'all know, I mean, a lot of this stuff I only say it because I'm supposed to say it. I only say it because I'm told to say it. I only say it because, it's like, you know, I'm like, I guess you can say being like an oracle, just deliver a message that need to be delivered. It's not like, um, I don't know, like I'm bored or I just decided to just come on here and just look at the trolls come in and chat with the BS and sit up here and say stuff that, most of y'all don't listen to anyway or whatever. I say shit because that's what I'm ordered to do. That's my job. If it comes to me and it's meant for me to say it, then I'ma say it. Other than that, job please. You just a mess. Um I just shut you out. I said thank you. I said thank you. And I said that YouTube is gonna eat half of that. And they has it where I can like it. Okay. I wonder when they added that. So I don't get those often. Hello, Mohammed. It's good to see you back here again. And look, independent strongman can spell. He spells N-I. Independent strongman. I'm not even gonna finish it because you didn't spell it right. Try it again, boo boo. Let me go and get you up out of here. Come back with your other account. Do it again. You trying to teach me that's how I'm supposed to spell. Mm-mm. But I don't know how a lot of y'all minds work, but just from I guess the way I've been taught and the way I come up with my uncle being the Black Bruce Lee, right? And my father being super super a lot of things that are on levels that bro really wasn't human. Um, but always on a quest for knowledge and always tactical, always training, always self-teaching, always brain shit don't stop. The shit don't stop. If you ever had try to have a conversation with me, then and I'm actually talking, yeah, this shit don't turn off. It really don't. And sometimes, a lot of us get sideswiped with just a lot of things that just don't make no sense. Or you could find your mind occupied with just stuff that really don't got nothing to do with you or what you're supposed to be doing anything. Now for me, that could be like a small percentage, but it never everything else never shuts down. It never shuts up, right? There's all kind of thoughts and signals and shit coming. You see and then being a creative and there's always assignments and just all kind of shit coming through all the time. All the freaking time, right? But you know what is extremely, I'm talking about extremely at the forefront. Um, nowadays extremely at the forefront is guys that we just time is up, time is up, time is up, time is up. And then think about it, people used to look for people have a habit of looking for things to bring you pleasure, things to distract you, things to get you through the week, to the weekend, or however that go. It's done data for all that. It's time out for all that. You got to get in mode. You got to get in formation. You got to get in mode. You're going to have to activate. You're going to have to activate. You're gonna have to activate and you're gonna have to do it like yesterday. And that is a process in itself. And we're so far removed from even knowing where to start or what the fuck is that really. It's just so much. The advantages are just, you know, it's just. But we are who we are, and things were written and they're gonna happen regardless. um how you gonna flow through it? You make sure every second that you spend, that's an investment into what it's gonna be like. Hell, the next second, the next week, the next day, and we don't, none of us don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know what that's gonna entail. But shit is really about to get spooky. You know, we I don't we don't even really have true knowledge of what's even about to be. Not. And some things I just never agree with. Some of it is like, my people perish from lack of knowledge. That's like when people say money is the root of all evil. Mm, not really. Not really. It's the love of it, it's what people would do for it, that type of thing. We know that. So it's not the lack of knowledge per se, because a lot of people got enough knowledge to know that what you're doing ain't what you're supposed to be doing. You got enough knowledge to know that you should have been off your ass every second, and you should have been on it. You should have been there. You should have been evolving, activated. And I'm saying, um and sometimes you gotta speak to yourself. You gotta speak to yourself. You gotta speak to yourself. Yeah. Why be scared of some great shit? Why be scared of some badass shit? Why be scared? Why be scared? You got one shot. Either way it go, you got one shot. You got one shot. You got one shot. And y'all should join me sometimes because there's things that I'm exploring that you can take it, you can go further, um and do what you want to do with it. But it's a spark, it's a leeway, it's a gateway to just, you know, whoever it leads where it should lead, then that's what it's supposed to do, because we got to put a lot of pieces together. And all our enemies, they have head starts, right? In every department except for the departments that could never be their department. And that's such, like, to me, that's just like badass. It's badass. When people say stuff like, our people they don't kill themselves. Our people don't do this. Our people don't do that. Um, you ever question why are they saying that about us? Like, why would we say that about our people? Our people don't, no, we don't do shit like that. Not because we strong, because we've been through. No, because if you think about it, shouldn't we be like top of the list? Because we the one who like we're the biggest failure. Like we downgraded the most. Like we lost so much. Like there could be no greater disappointment that I can think of than my people in quotation marks. Yeah. There could be no bigger disappointment. Mm-mm. Anything anybody else do or say and shit like that. And that shit is peanuts to me. I'm gonna judge it. I'm gonna assess it. And whatever I gotta respond to it or whatever, of course. But that shit is never gonna be like, it's like big whoop. What could be more disappointing than? I guess it wouldn't be fair to say us getting here. We still here. We got here. We stayed, and we just sank lower and lower and lower, and we're still sinking. And it's like, you know, um, it's not really that many. It's really not. It's really not. It's a lot lesser than I thought, and I really thought I was pretty like prepared that it won't be that many, but it's a lot less than that. When they have these verses like, when they do these like sayings about how little people would get into the gates of heaven and all that other kind of stuff, you know, and you do what you do. I don't care as far as what you think about what I'm saying. You go, oh, she wrong and all that stuff. Save it, take it, go do something else with it, have a fit, debate with your people or go play with your mama. I don't care. uh, I don't care. I don't care. You do what you want. um but that's really about us. That's not literally somebody coming to save you, and they only gonna pick a certain amount of people because they just happen to just get, which is impossible. Living here, it's impossible. Okay. um when these beings that we live off of, that we really came from, that we walk on and everything, um every second and every day, these beings that they know truths about, and they do everything to suppress this, suppress that, hide that, use this, do that, blah blah blah. They got all these advantages to what they feel like can benefit them and what they feel like can damage and suppress and hurt and kill us. These beings, every last one of them, it was not none that escaped it. It was not no time that it didn't go down. Maybe not everybody battling at one time, but maybe it was just a couple of things over here and there, and other people were just living, doing their thing, procreating, remixing, doing all kind of stuff, working with their powers, just figuring out some innocent shit to get into, and just some shit that they're gonna, oh, I'm gonna do this. But it was always pretty much war. It was always strategy. It was always a fight for. I think we have answers, but at the end of the day, I can't say I really truly know the things that they were fighting over, because when you look at it, like some would make a strategy to say, um, you know, all of them. all of those are gonna want to kill all of us because they feel like we're abomination, or because they feel like we just wasn't meant to be here, or we weren't meant to be here with, all the other ones that are here, or they don't like the fact that we have mixed with them and procreated with them, and what that new breed has become. They feel like that's an abomination, or they fear what we can create when we mix with them, or whatever, whatever. Or they don't like that I violated some code that, we all gonna keep, even though we're all different. And, I did this and this because I wanted to, and, oh well. But for whatever reason, their plan is to go ahead and get rid of all of us. We know that, right? And they're probably over there saying, hey, if we don't get rid of them, they're gonna, pretty much take over. We're gonna be extinct. We're not gonna survive, blah, blah, blah. And so, they're always reading the temperature and understanding what is when it is, and then making the moves that they needed to make. I always say, I've been saying this for years. Um, Not that at that time I was thinking back far enough, but there has never really been a time in existence, except for now, that we have not knew that we like always been in battle, always been at war, always been on it, always been strategizing, and always, basically, you can call it fear, whatever, but forget the fear. It just is what it is, just a way of life. Like, we have never not fought, for what we stand on, and for us to live, and then live how we gonna live, or us to out survive them and get rid of them because they need to go, it's some shit like that. Um, until now, it's like their wars, throughout their wars, they have been successfully transforming people to where you don't want to fight. You don't think you're supposed to fight, or you think you can't fight. Same shit. I don't care how you feel about what that situation was with Carmelo and old boy. Um, but I'm using it as an example to say so many people be like, he should have just left. And the way that they won, basically they're I'm not gonna say they're gonna win every time, because even when I tell stuff, I'm hesitant a lot, because I also it's a lot of stuff I don't want to say, because I believe in power. I believe in, you know, words that come out. I believe, I'm aware of, because it's like nobody's gotta trick me into no shit. Like, I'm aware that, and you although things should be known, it's like you want to convey things too without commanding it or empowering it or activating it, or some, just some shit like that. That's ridiculous. And so, sometimes it's just a better move to just know what is, know what it is, do what you gotta do, move how you need to move, do what you gotta do, and just leave behind what you gotta leave behind, you know? And if that is also means destroy it, you gotta destroy it. There's a lot of people around here taking on their families, and just, and that is all about this war we, are in, that a lot of people don't want to acknowledge they're in. Whether or not other people are having them do this, or there's something in them is having them do it, whether and they don't understand, because a lot of times they don't understand because they're taking themselves too. But if they do it and they're still here, they might. have some ancient knowledge that, you know, they s- don't quite fully understand or what have you. But you can't walk around here thinking that this isn't war, and the war is just going to get, more serious and more serious. um like video games, that y'all like to play. We climbing levels, and if you want to be an NPC, cool. But NPCs, they fade away somehow. Like, they get, I don't know. I don't play video games, but watched people play. Like, sometimes you go, you just slice them up, knock them down for whatever, because they dare and it's fun, and then you go do what you got to do. But they fade away. They don't just hang around being NPCs. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. So you either fighting or you're not important. Like, you don't matter. Like, you're just like, slaughter is that's what's gonna be, you know, for you. But it's about fighting. It is. Always has been. And you can't, it's dumb to sit up here and tell somebody, oh, they gotta listen to another motherfucker, especially when that's your op. You know, you gotta let them try to bully you or move you. And it's bad enough that you don't see the play. Again, my biggest disappointment, my own people, because we should be so much more advanced. A lot of us are open, freaking, I don't know what you want to call it, woke or whatever. So I just want to block some people real quick. There's too much movement in the chat. So I'm going to get all these trolls. Thank you. I don't know how to say your name, but everybody after that, I'm blocking you. Which is really a waste of time. But I just feel like, who set up? Okay, you know what? I'm not answering none of you either, cause so yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Maybe I'll get over the pettiness, but for right now, I'm blocking you. Okay, but yeah, to sit up there and say he shouldn't use this force, he shouldn't even use that force, and when the truth of the matter is, that's not even how that law is. And we're intelligent beings. We already understand how it's been used for others in that same state, fucking anywhere really, but in the same state, versus how it's being used for him. And if we don't see the play, we don't see the setup, we don't see the players and all that, then I get it. I don't expect people to be on my level. I sure don't want to be on your level, right? Um, but to sit up there and say all that dumb shit, I'm not debating with nobody about nothing. This is just for whoever needs to hear it, okay? Always. Always. Because I could give a fuck about everybody else. Block that shit out and fight. You know what I'm saying? Block that shit out and fight. If you got it in you, fucking fight. And if you don't, then be slaughtered. That's it. But the whole debating this and that, and you got these distractors, and I mean, it's all just one big circus, right? It's not just Blueface's circus. The whole thing is a fucking circus. You know how people keep saying we're living in the Truman Show. We're living in the Truman Show. You see it. You see it. It's a done data. No more pretending. No more assuming, no more hoping, no more nothing. We knew coming into hell, what, 2026? We was already seeing it in 2025. But people for the most part knew coming into 2026 that this is the new new. Okay, we've entered a phase that we have never entered before, right? Every day is a new day, but no, 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 that's nursery rhyme stuff. It's a lot of redundant. We still be on the same levels. We haven't really went anywhere. It's just your ops putting their work in, putting their work in, putting their work in. Because you sitting over here being obedient and really thinking sunshine and rainbows and oh, I hope, you know, stuff like, you know, this we get this president and this president's gonna, but at the same time you're neglecting damn near everything that you supposed to be you supposed to be on, you supposed to be doing, but we don't do. We haven't been doing. We just NPC our way around here. We wake up, we routine, we go to work, we try to follow laws, we uh, you know push for money so like we can give it up and say, thank you for allowing me something. And we see shit, we analyze it, and there's our brain works. So we kind of understand this is really, really bad for us. But you got all this other stuff working against you and it just wins. It's like for some reason you sleep at night, you fucking wake up, you do the dumb shit all over again, knowing it's going to keep getting worse, but it's a part of you hoping that the ones you see plain evil, plain up, clear and plain, that they're going to just, I don't know, one day wake up and be like, should we cut him a break? Just, I feel bad. How about you? You feel bad? Yeah, man. Let's make the world a better place. Let's do right by our people. Shit. They're not even you, man. And I've been saying this, you expected something from something that don't got it. That's like when you look back, let's say y'all know a lot of stories, a lot of y'all do. Stories that you were told, but you were told, oh, these are just fables. These are just this, that, and the third. All right, let's go with Medusa. Just a little bit. Let's go with Medusa. Medusa and her sisters. You can't look at them. You can't directly look at them, right? Now, some of these beings that existed around here, you had all kind of this, all kind of that. And they was just doing stuff that they wanted to do. They was coming up with stuff, people if that we're gonna call them people, right? We're saying people, but we're talking about all kind of stuff. We talking about Nephilim, we talking about dragons, we talking about fucking giants, we talking about gods, we talking about this, that, and the third, right? All kind of shit that people say it's just make believe or it's just whatever, fables and everything, right? And they're just doing all kind of stuff, running amok, or um remixing shit and just doing stuff, turning to doing, the whole doing stuff with the universe and everything. But in the meantime, between time, plotting and prepping, playing chess, I'm gonna turn this into this, and that way that I can use that to destroy that when I need to, when that time come and blah blah blah. And I need to mate with that because that'll make me, you know, a fucking a powerful ass being that's gonna live on and really fuck some shit up, but I can't let them mate with that and I'm gonna kill them. But then they somehow mate with them anyway in some weird ass ways and shit. And then these people was able to tell y'all we it's a nice story, but we know that stuff is never not true. It really didn't happen. They didn't really exist and all that kind of stuff. But Out of those different stories, you got the story of Medusa, and Medusa helped, Zeus, Hercules. Medusa helped. Well, it wasn't like she volunteered really, but she helped get take away, some of these, giants and gods and stuff that, they kind of was, it had never calmed down to beget us, which I honestly don't care because I'm not impressed with us at all. But for some reason, I guess that's what had to take place. Like it was necessary to bring it to this level, right? Because everybody was just doing a whole lot of shit. But Medusa was used to really do that final wipeout, to help real big time with that final wipeout after getting her head cut off and using her head, because that's just what they needed to do, right? But you can't look at her, so you got to be tactful and skillful in how to get that head, right? And then when you get that head, I got the power. You know what I'm saying? So that was taking a lot of suckers out, and they really didn't know how they did it. But then again, they did, because once they get tricked and look at Medusa, they understand what it was. But that's just like one example of how mofos was around here putting mofos to sleep, freezing them, petrifying them, dropping them down, motherfuckers was getting boiled up with some hot ass water. All kind of stuff was going on. But the Medusa had always been, something that is like very interesting to me. Um, but that was a important job right there for the situation and for the times. That was an important job right there. And that was a quote unquote God that did it. Now, some of y'all be like, we gods and shit. You say that shit, but you can't move like a god because you think you was taught some shit that just don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. God, you think God's just like, you gotta get down on it. They gotta get down on it. I don't speak. Everybody can't. Everybody, it just can't. It just can't. But I think our people should be the best at whooping ass and taking names. I'm talking about we just know, like, you don't even like you feel something, you feel sorry. All that BS and that programming and shit, like, oh, you could just kill him because he put his hands on you and all that other stuff. And my thing is, when I see one of us activate like that, I get it. And the unfortunate part is he's in this existence and everybody around him is acting like they don't get it. And he's in this existence where 9 times out of 10, he understood what was going on, even if he didn't understood how much he understood at that time. And it's not even a conversation he can really have with anyone, because who could he have? Because to say what I've already said, what I will say again 1,000 times, and what I know. So let's say he knows and understands that, which he probably does, because 9 times out of 10, he's just one of the ones. Not even knowing where this dude is coming from, not even knowing the shit that he knows. What he did was the answer, regardless, even though it's questionable and shit like that, and we're gonna see how that goes, how it all happened and everything like that. But he was still in the warrior mindset and readiness and action that he needed to be. That he needed to be. And there was so many plays down on this brother, because that's I mean, that's it. That's the play. That's the goal. I've been saying this and I'm gonna keep saying it. You get the motherfucking ISIS papers. Get Francis Cress Welsing, because that need to be your Bible, because it's not, see things for what they really are, right? That's what it is. And it's not gonna change. And that's what it is. And it's not gonna change. And that's what it is. And it's not gonna change. And if you went around here saying something different, then then you just be that. Okay. You could be working for them, you could be rooting for them, you could be whatever. It's all dumb at the end of the day, either way it go. But if you ain't he, you ain't she, you don't get it, then oh well, good for you. I just know that you the enemy, and that's what it is, and that you ain't gonna make it. You gonna make it to where you gonna make it to. And that's what you choose. Okay, bitch ass. It's good for you. You know, good for you. But the way y'all the way y'all read around here in such large numbers talking about brother, this young brother, and the way y'all also doing Dominique, right? Mr. Alexander. It's annoying to see. It is. It's annoying to see, but that's just what it is. That's just where we at with it. That's just what it is, where we at with it. And I don't care if you ever listen to me or something, someone else, anything that is thinking along like how I am. I'm this ain't what I'm saying ain't nothing new from what's the date? Tuesday, Wednesday, shit. What year is it? It's nothing new. I am who I am. So there's nothing. You can't shake me. You can't make me think something else. And I'm being led to the information I need to be led to. That shit ain't never been not it my whole journey, which is my whole existence here, right? And I know what I know. I know what's in me. I know what it is. Like I can never I don't even listen to you scroll past. Okay, I can ID that as a fucking enemy, and that's about it. Other than that, you can't. That shit you do with other folk or whatever. You can't persuade me to do shit. To me, you are exactly the enemy, and you are dumb as shit. You sound dumb as shit. Like there's some kind of world that we live in that your thoughts and actions is to um allow yourself to be done up, allow yourself to be overtaken, allow yourself to be done up in any kind of way by your enemy. It's game over for that. And to see y'all not have somebody, and then I had to go back and watch some of that shit again, because I know I was, you know, salty at Mr. Alexander, you know, when he got sentenced and shit. And I've I've had to repent for that. Well, sometimes when that's you, and you got your people and everything, but y'all moving how you supposed to do, how real ones move, how real bad boys move, right? So basically, people are seeing, not all, but just really you, like you got to stand up. You stand up, and you the tallest man on the planet, to be honest, because there you go. And where everybody else at? Somewhere talking shit, somewhere thinking they good, which is dumb because we ain't been good in a while, and we're never gonna be good unless we make it good, right? And it's like, oh, this shit came down this way, you know? And I'm watching as this is going about, and I'm watching this man with this brother at this angle, at that angle, the suit, the walking him out, all of this stuff. And I'm like, he got him, 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 he got him. That's how they had me. He got him. He got him. He got him. He right there. He's not gonna run from it, to the best of his ability. You know, they might take him out to get him out the way, but he got him. You know, he, it, at best, that's what you ask for, right? Hope for, wish for. And we don't have them to stand up like that. I don't care what the hell y'all group over there talking about. Y'all don't even exist as far as I'm concerned. None of you. Don't none of you ever stand up. But then this whole play comes down on him. It was just too easy. And when we catch ourselves in situations like that, only thing you need to be doing is telling yourself tighten up. Tighten up and tighten up fast. Tighten up from that bullshit. Tighten up from that and continue on your tighten up, but tighten up harder, tighten up faster. You know what I'm saying? Because you shouldn't even be there's no slipping. There's no slipping, especially as far as I'm concerned. I don't allow it for myself because I know what I see when I see it. I know what I know when I know it. And it's a lot of you not knowing mofos out here. And imaginary, like you got this imaginary vision of yourself, and you're literally a zero, a whole zero, because you do nothing. You do nothing to, you know shit just really baffles me. It really baffles me. But we those who gonna throw down, and those who aren't, they aren't. And to if I, let's say, in a magical mystical world, could come through with some kind of magic sword, because we don't just act like we in a cartoon, right? We're just talking about being like, if I was to write this cartoon and I was like, I don't know, She-Ra, Wonder Woman, or something like that, and I had this like magical tools like a machete, but it can also be a lasso, and I was able to just fly my invisible jet and float around and just go round and making rounds and just start take getting the bad guys that look like me, those bad guys that are just out here being shiftless for no reason, worthless, just walking around here just wasting skin and wasting flesh and everything like that. And who sit up here and watch, but you don't even try to really look for no information at all, and you just activate like an NPC and save the shit your master wants you to say shit. Like, you see this man over here fighting for his own family, really, with just a few people having his back or whatever, and going through who knows, man, with this enemy over here gonna show up looking all mean with a cast on and shit, glasses on, knowing he ain't supposed to be there, and then y'all gonna run right with them. Yeah, you gonna kick them out. You gonna kick them out, and he come over there to pray with him and shit. That's your problem. That's your problem. You like following the rules when you was given this whole new situation and told to do it like this and do it like that. You like that. You hollered at. You did, like I told y'all about the dude put a note on my truck the other day. Slick couldn't say nothing to me in the break room, but I come to my truck, get some more laundry, go back in. He's still in there. He's trying to talk to me again, but just general conversation. He's not saying I wrote that lengthy note on your truck. But on your note, you wanna make sure that when you're telling me, you picture yourself, I guess, or whatever. I'm a Christian, and I'm like, that's to me, that's like, y'all still doing it? Like, y'all still saying that like it's a flex, like it's a weird, 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 weird. And still not IDing himself, to the relevancy, like saying that, I put did you see the note? I put the note in the door, blah, blah, blah. Hey, my name is such and such. Cause we right here in person, right? Why not? Didn't do it. Okay, cool. But what the next day when I finally, I was like, I wonder who it is though. Cause, some good energy passed by me. You know, that's a rare. So maybe it could have been, and I was just assuming it was the goofy one. But that Christian thing still is a problem. When I texted dude, he's like sending me Jesus memes and stuff. Bro, we haven't even got past, you know, uh, greetings, this is Pre, note on my door, blah blah blah. Yeah, this is I'm so and so. Oh, I'm glad you read my note. And then it was just Bible verses and Jesus and all this stuff. I said, man, I don't not always know better. Don't I always know better? Don't even engage. Don't even engage. Don't even engage. There is no need to say who sent you. Like none of that because I knew better anyway. And then boom, that's what I get. So it's like, that's goofy to me. But that's your assignment, that's your job. That's how you moving around here, I guess. And you think that okay, cool. I guess you won't be um you just not that you're not that guy. You're not the one. You're not one of the ones. You're not one of the ones. You're not one of the ones. If you're not one of the ones, you're not one of the ones. And y'all be real loud these days too. Y'all be real loud and bold. And I don't get your thought process, but it doesn't even matter. But where you think that any of that is going for you is ridiculous because you got everything is just ripped to shreds, uh, as far as your people and the future generations is like we are a endangered species on the verge of becoming extinct and that's what they want. And they done already told you every which way but loose race war. They said what was the last incident that was black did white? I don't remember, but I remember seeing them say then, one more and it's on. One more and that's gonna be it. That's it's on. And this is your one more. This is your one more. Um, I know you guys have seen more than enough comments, probably heard them, probably even said to you in your face. And you somehow will turn that into some magical um fairy tale that like oh well, you got all kind of other shit going on except for it being what it is, it being what it is. But then you get on here, "God, they've got that brother sitting damn tree. And do you know they got the nerve to sit up here and say that he did this to himself? And we know he ain't do that to himself." Then you got your assumptions about who you think did it or whatever. And then you say, and they ain't gonna do nothing about it. Then, it be another after another, just something here, something there, just another. You just keep going per usual. And y'all just still be trying to just like la di da di da, go to work and shit. And I'm like, then I get to think about silly shit. I mean, like asking the universe, goofy question. No, that's not what I'm supposed to say. Because it's true, but trigger warning is what I'm supposed to say. Trigger warning. Okay, you trigger warning. This is adult talk, right? I say, I wonder if it's possible for my hole to close up, because it's been a long time, right? And at this point, I'm pretty certain ain't nothing going up in there. No more. Mm-mm. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. Because we sexual beings by nature. But to never again, although we don't know how long this shit here gonna last. Probably not that long. I'm probably thinking too far down the line, but I'm like, this shit is just gonna close all the way up. Mm. Wonder if I should use something every now and again, just for maintenance, just to keep it from happening. Hmm. You get to just think of just dumb shit like that. Why not? Y'all get to fantasize dumb shit. Why can't I sit around and just, you know, hmm. This life will make you, yeah, this world, this life, it'll make you start thinking about some dumbass shit. But anything can be a reality. Anything can be a reality. And I, s- I ain't gonna say fear because I don't fear shit. We gonna keep that. But I do have some concerns that are starting to seem like they could possibly one day become a little more realistic. Then, I might get horny one day. And what if I just be like, you know what? I need to feel something. And I try to put something in there and it's so tight, I can't even get nothing in there. That would be so horrible because young niggas, absolutely not. You know what I mean? I don't see it. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't understand what these ladies is doing out here. Like, why are we giving these niggas pussy? Head? Anything. Why are we touching them? Why are you even wasting your fucking time? You know? I just doesn't make any sense to me. But uh, you said don't close up. Listen, anything can happen. We are living in a world where anything can happen. And think about it. Most of you guys don't even understand what this world is. You don't understand what this earth is. You don't understand where these resources come from. Okay, you don't understand the energy and everything. And these mofos will extract. Slice, dice, beat up, crush, everything. Life. And, manufacture it to you and call it whatever they want to call it and tell you that this is how you use it. And for us to be such energy beings, I had a friend tell me one time, because I have a lot of crystals, right? And I just was trying to get all the crystals and just learn them and respectfully. Um, one day in response to just a lot of things, right? He said, I mean, you keep portals around you all the time. You got all this energy. You got all this copper, you're dealing with these wires and things like that. But you have all these different now, trust me, I will learn at least what we're told, right, about the crystals, because metals and energies, they all can't just be together like that. But they're just all around. And so it's live all the time. It's active all the time. It's just a lot of power, energy all the time, just ready. And I always think about that. But that is just it. Period. What we're on. And they just been taking it all, disrespecting it, using it how they want to. You could imagine they sold slaves and shit like that. But imagine on top of all that, you're so oblivious that they just still selling you life in so many different ways. It's not even funny selling it to you and having you use it, and you don't even understand any of that. And you just think that this is just, I don't know, shit that was formulated because of whatever dumb shit they told you and put in the books and all of that, academia. And that shit is on a whole nother level. On a whole nother level. Imagine, slicing open layers of flesh to get for somebody who just got a whole bunch of money to pick the one that fits the look for them, that looks the best, and other slices are just kind of like the fruit they throw out at the grocery store, and then they put it in their homes, and it's just, oh, this costs so much, and then they run off to go slice some different ones and everything. Like they cutting open, slicing into some spam or some shit. If I were each and every person out here, who is under attack, not the ones doing the attacking. I would really invest myself into finding out what is, because you're not going to have any answers from anywhere else, and you're definitely not going to know where to start. You're going to be just as confused as everybody is every single day, and it's worse. It's just to the point where I see grown-ups, not that I think they should stop or anything, but to see grown-ups, grown men, come on TikTok and just be like, the frustration and the helplessness is just like, it's a lot to just actually sit there and look at and say, yeah, this is real. This is real. This is not no joke or nothing. He's expressing how he truly feels, and damn near everybody's feeling the same. But these are men, the men of the earth, the men. And they're just on here like this. And I'm just like, okay, this has become a new thing. I get it. But where do we go from here? Like, what happens next? Because I think we're at the point where it shouldn't get no lower for us as for this than this. It shouldn't get no lower. Like, we should just be like, okay, damn, okay, that's enough. Okay, boom, we gotta snap out of it. Like, yeah, like, come on, come on. You know too much. You know too much. You know too much. You're not completely under a full spell. Like, you're not complete, you're not in a coma, like you're functioning to a degree. Like, you're conscious. You're awoke. You go to work, you do shit, you take a bath, you drink, you be eating fake food. That should be your number one key that you gotta stop. When you see people on TikTok saying let's stop participating, stop letting your mind take you to how or no we can't or this or da 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 da, and just be like, yes. Just say it over and over. Tell yourself, tell your brain, yes, 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 yes. Your brain gonna be trying to, no, we don't want them problems. Yes, you want all the smoke, baby. You want all the smoke. 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 When you want all the smoke, when they got down, they got down. What's there to be afraid of? But they weren't worried about dying, and they was already so much on their P's and Q's. They already had it sold up, because if you do slaughter me in this little war we having, man, I'm gonna drop I'm gonna make my shit turn into gold, and and then I'm gonna impregnate old girl, and she gonna have my baby and shit. And my baby go fuck around and come back and kill da 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 da. And then that shit actually happened and shit. Now, they can call themselves gods. You probably should stop trying to do that. Yeah, you probably should. That's God shit. For real. You can't keep participating in this. I keep telling y'all, when you're not protecting these children, it's a done data for you. It's a done data for you. You better get your shit together real quick, because you're just, you don't want to be marked for death. You know that movie is Steven Seagal? You don't want to be marked for death. And when you're not protecting the children, when you're finding reasons not to protect the children, I keep telling y'all, that's it. That's where the line is drawn at. That's it. That's it. That's it. I seen something, it wasn't this week, it was last week, online, and they believe that that is actually Noah's boat. Now, I've never even seen or heard that of any remnants of Noah's ark being out here. And I didn't go back and revisit it, study it. So many things on my list, so many things, so many things. And I said, dang, it's big enough, it's large enough. Ooh, imagine. But then when you think about times when shit like that happen, think about the flood, you think about like firmament. Y'all talking about good, somebody gonna go to hell. Everything boiling and burning up like you in a hot ass pot, boiling like some eggs. You know, they was just being petrified to being turned it. Listen, it's turning to stone. And then on top of that, while you hear decomposing and transmute, translate, and giving back some shit that these new humans don't know nothing about because they even put themselves in the ground in a box. Then you go to a volcano, or you see some clay dirt, or you go to mountains and shit, and you think that this is actually objects and stuff. You think it's you don't even respect, you don't even understand and know that like I'm right here. I am this place. Everything is fucking biology. Like is we are right here, and we're turning the wheels, and we're creating things for you, and we're giving back, and y'all don't even understand it. And then you're this they I know they like these are our uh offspring, like these are our. No way. No way. Why are they putting themselves in boxes when you go into the earth? Who told you to do that? Is that a money grab? Or like who was it a money grab, or was it like it's too early, or we're not supposed to mix in mass numbers or something? Like, I don't know. Could that be some of it? I don't know. I don't know, but you just oblivious, man. But I even the people who battled it out for the Constitution to be made. Ooh, I know they like this what it comes down to. This what we got left. This is the shit that's walking these fucking walking this earth behind us. There's none before us that are impressed or proud, or they just like I would feel real bad to have every one before me to really be just the most disappointed they've ever been. And that's in our go round. Like, yeah, that's pretty. It don't get no worse than that. Like, there's nothing else. There's nothing else. It's you scared about. You scared about your little punk ass life. That shit don't mean nothing. Y- Nobody, y'all, people haven't made their lives mean anything. Yeah, by doing what I was doing. Y'all don't even fight for these children, man. Y'all don't even fight for these children. Y'all don't even talk about them. What was it? What kind of files? Y'all don't even talk about that shit no more. Mm-mm. Y'all used to be so beside yourself. Like, oh, Uh, show us, show us the files. And some of the stuff that I was saying, and now it just. I don't know. I think people are just, you know, as far as the files, I think it just, I feel so defeated by it. So what can I do? Literally. All right. So what I don't like, and I probably shouldn't say that. I'm probably not supposed to say it. I'm gonna say it. I don't like when I really done sat here and put in time like y'all streamers be doing, and I'm like, hell no, they be putting that shit in because they be getting money out of it, good money out of it, and you know, me, I'm just following orders. I'm just saying what needs to be said, but shit, I don't want to come out like a goofy ass Adrian and Dean and shit like that. You know, I got all this fabric, all these materials, all these projects, and I am the shit. Okay. And I know a lot of my words don't go in vain. What type middle is what? I don't know. But what did I say I was gonna play real quick? I'm gonna play it. I'm probably gonna have to turn on. Yep. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this down to just one after I finish my bonnet. I'm gonna do my finish this work vest. I got like different work vests that I designed because that ain't that boring what we have to wear. But I'm putting my numbers on it, my little patches I made. I got different materials, different styles that I designed. So I'm gonna just do one tonight and put off all the other work and prep I was gonna do. I got my hats lined up right here. I got some other stuff I gotta cut out. And I'm gonna be making me some more pants like leggings. I got a whole bunch of shit that I'm gonna be making. But this is what I'm getting started on for, you know, this week or whatever. And what I had planned on doing today, it's not even going down like that. Of course. Because one thing I definitely must do is leave room because I'm not at the gym. I did not go to the gym. And there's no gym at this one. And decided the way traffic was, instead of spending all that extra time in travel, so I can like be at the gym, then come back in. So I'm a stay right here, and then I will get more sewing done, but I can still do my workout or whatever. Being that it hasn't stopped raining, I won't be able to like go outside and do like the rope work. Why is it doing it? Hold on. It's to do something like Mm. But I put the wrong phone on there anyway. 'Cause that's one thing I really. So let me. This phone. Uh, See, now this stuff is just taking too long to do all this connecting. It's really, and I'm almost finished with that. Shit, why not? Marriage was that. That happens a lot. People be over working debate. I actually ain't gonna show it. It's like a red. Yeah, things master check out. Then central for somebody right. Maybe that's saying go down cemetery. The fact that this is our reality. Why was 15-year-old horse doing this in the first place? That's probably how they retire their horses too. We should start the petition today. Yeah, now we think. I mean, this is how he went out. That's horrible. Heartbreaking for a horse. It's too hot. That's why the horse took out. So I'm gonna say that the urine is too high up. That poor horse must have worked from early in the morning till late at night. Tired, so sad. This is how they used to do us, our people. Okay, work them, work them, work them. Sun up, sun down. Why y'all still riding in carriages? It's not nostalgic. Is that another officer? That look like an officer chastising him. is there so many cups? That's a big dog. He's not an officer, but he really lives like he got on the same damn shit they got on. Oh, they're obviously having internal quarrel, and it looked like that somebody else is saying it though. But they gonna try to get her to get away from the dog. It's a crime scene. You need to call some other folk out there to take care of it because it's crime. So they came to her house. Okay, but the neighbors called the cops. And then it's a big old doodle, a big one. It looks like a poodle. A, I've never seen a doodle that big. It's big. She spent money on that dog, and that was her baby. That was her comfort in the world that we live in. A big old hairy dog. They don't deserve. They don't need to be caught, bro. You was scared. First of all, why you come up in her place? Okay, so basically, what they're saying is this lady, the Knicks game was on, and she was making a lot of noise. She's in an apartment complex. I mean, we have a lot of things to reflect on here, because you know, yeah, y'all be crazy about your Knicks. Oh, some people be crazy about them Cowboys. Okay, that don't mean you should be out here making all that noise. You know, you disturbing your neighbors. Come on. And so somebody called the cops. I don't know how that went. I don't know if they, hey, keep it down. Fuck you. Okay, I'm gonna call the cops if you don't. I'm trying to get some sleep. Gotta go to work. Call the cops. I don't know if that happened, but you're no apartment cop. So we gotta start there. But the cops come. They, they're coming. They deep. They came deep, and they came in there like it was something different going on inside her crib, and the dog was like, "What up with y'all?" Doodles are notoriously non-aggressive, kind of dumb and goofy, but non-aggressive. Then the dog is wearing, yeah, he's wearing a Knicks jersey. Yeah, and I gotta say, the cops are just, they standing around like they look like they feel like the dumbest goofballs of you know this side of Nebraska. I mean, all of them. I don't know if it was one that did it, several did it, but y'all too scary for this job. Cause I mean, they really look like, and then at some point they're gonna have to get her to separate from the dog, and so they're gonna get dogged out by the people for that too. But then that's the crime scene. Because if you did that to their dog, your ass is going up for murder. You can believe that. You don't come in here and shoot my. Oh gosh, this is so. I don't know. I show it, y'all. Well, hold on, partner. Cause y'all gotta go on this. I mean, can we hear that call though? Like, what did y'all say when y'all called the cops? You know, sound like she's what did it say? You know, it's like y'all sound like you don't look like her. What did y'all say when you called the cops? Why they come like that? You know, I mean, I wish y'all could have figured that shit out. Cause New Yorkers do make a lot of noise, but these are some pretty nice apartments. Everybody wasn't feeling she probably was overboard with the noise. Like, how much money did she win? Like, is she getting Nick money? Cause is it that deep? Is it that deep? If y'all yelling so loud, your neighbors are like, what? But I hope y'all knocked on that lady's door and at least try to get her to calm down. And it's such a nice dog, and why? But it's like 50 cops out here. Why is that? Cause damn, this is bad. I hate to be there when they gotta take her away from that dog. Let me get my baby. How many of y'all can do this? Yeah, you're not comparing nobody to him. Oh, he hit hard. Oh, he hit hard. Oh, bro, I got a new level to reach. He just became my new inspiration. I ain't striving hard enough. In fact, I'm gonna go show y'all what I can and show y'all. I'm gonna get off of here so I can stay on track. It says she took her own life. but they could just be saying that. I don't. It's all they posted. Now this thing with the lady that they threw over there and she didn't have no robe on. How did so many of them? I don't understand. How do so many of you prepare her for bungee? And she has no cord. So apparently her fiance was there. He passed out. Had to go to the hospital. I wouldn't do nothing like this, but if I did, I want to know how. And they're supposed to tell you anyway. How it should be done. So right before, I'm gonna be like, did we put the glass on? Check. Did we? Da, da, da. Do we have a cord on? You know, I mean, I cannot do it. I can never. Who can I trust enough that you can do this? But there's nothing mentally going to the military witness supported that way. The company responsible forgot. They all three forgot to put the safety equipment on her before the jump. No, before the talks. They talked about it. So, like, how many times did they do? I don't understand this. You clearly didn't put the rope on her. Then when you notice the cord is not there, it's like, why don't you just jump behind her? Because what other reaction could you really have? In doubt, I checked the news. They have it in South Brazil yesterday. Unbelievable that. How do you figure those support? No one said a thing. No, he's talking about before Dodo Bird. This is Northwest. And this is a prank. She's a very big girl. Is that proud for her? Is this real? She's putting on a concert? I told y'all. I told y'all. She said grown ass men jumping around for a 12-year-old. Hey, I'm looking at it, but she's doing that different than Blue. What Blue doing? So y'all cut that out. Blue dressed like a grown ass woman. They doing the same thing with both of them. It's just different. She on this, side of it, and they got Blue. Y'all, they for some reason that shit look elegant to y'all. I don't know. I don't understand. It's all the same shit. It's all that going down. And I told y'all, Ye was right. Listen, he knew what he did when he had babies with that girl. He knew he didn't tell her children. Said this is literally a child entertaining grown man. Hey, I told y'all, don't pay that nigga no attention. You're not gonna get up here talking about her like the internet supposed to help you with your child problems. You know how to do something. You're an adult. It's bullshit. It's performative. Okay, he pimping them right in your face. so openly and blatantly. But it was like Kim was gonna and to do oh girl, what's the Kim mama name? They're gonna bitch, you knew that when you had babies with the girl. He just wanted her first. He wanted to be the controller. He probably said, listen, let me get north and you could do what's the next one name? Chicago? I don't believe this. I'm looking for a small video. She's got me very big. And then she's lip singing. She get a dumbass daddy. She's not even 13 yet. It ain't. This is I'm here with. All right, so today I have questions for you. First question is, how do you feel about streamers' roles in the hip hop community? How do you feel about streamers' roles? Oh, she got a mouthful of. All right, who's your favorite? I don't really like watch streamers like that. Have you watched like? Okay. Oh shit! Oh, I didn't know you were really watching like that. You're rolling out. I bet. Northwest. All right, thank you. Thank you. What's the same I'm here with? All right, today I have questions for you. When she was the winner, he was created the winner. But when did she gain all this weight though? I mean, I can't get over it. Her or Blue. They literally dress and wearing things, everything just like adults, and I just like I guess it's what celebrities are supposed to do. I just so that she did this to me after, and I got her set list. So yeah, so you guys, she's giving you downloads. That could be because I know they have all of these ways where you could literally air catch, like air transport in your hand. So yeah, you guys didn't even download, bro. This is crazy. So anywho, he doing. So you know. So this one, yeah. just be saying stuff about my chat. I get it. Y'all want me to go live on Twitch? I think I'm gonna give me a Android. Then I can just stream on Twitch. You need to be worried. Train, train, train. Train, train, train up and train. Unseen me, unseen me. This shit over here trolling. Let's do it. Let's see what. You know what? I should get a fan. I could put a fan on my phone. He had a lot of racial undertones that had you go, was he ever really sincere or what is this really given? Now, we're going to go over all of that in this video. I'm going to bring Emerald Stone down just a second to talk to you guys. So, my day, and I want to just make a few things clear, right? So, I did an interview with Dominique Alexander, and that was who I know or knew typically the family activist connected to the Carmelo Anthony family. I was not a prisoner. I did not know that there was kind of like a separation between the two when I did that interview. I also was not aware of any type of record or anything like that. I had no idea. I've had a very long week. I've had targeted smear campaigns like no other. I've never experienced this level of lies, defamatory statements, racial attacks on my channel, and just outright smeared like a deliberate, nasty, and despicable smear campaign. I've never had a situation with another influencer because you reported it like it was. Of other YouTubers that they know is not me and lie and say that it's me, and also take audio and do this whole smear targeted account. I've never had goons show up to a court case that I covered with guns trying to intimidate me. So excuse me for not thinking that that was on my priority list to kind of research and like let me look up this person's criminal record. That wasn't my thing. I had the incident happen on Monday where I broke down, and then on Tuesday was the verdict. My mother, she was petrified for my safety, being that I let her know how the sheriffs were operating, how I let her know how everything was going on, and she just was scared for my life, like literally scared for my life that these people would come up there and how the sheriff were not doing anything about it, and how this woman was deliberately trying to target me and my brand and everything like that. So after that, I did after the verdict, I did a show with Emerald, and then the very next morning, I flew, or the very next after I checked out of my hotel, I flew directly to California. Once I flew to California, I got off the plane. I talked to Dominique, did the interview. That was it. I didn't have time to research anything, look up it. I didn't no, that wasn't like my main concern. My main concern was, hey, there's a lot of misinformation going on. People are saying that this was a public defense. I want to know, hey, what's going on with the experts? Why wasn't there any experts? And that was the first point of contact that I can try to get some information from. Fast forward to that, fast forward all the way to today, the Black Panther Party called me to make sure that I was safe. That was like one of the first things that they called to say, like, cases, they're like, we want to know, like, are you safe? Like, are you good? Like, are you okay? You know, checking on me to make sure that I was really okay and that I was safe and I was, you know, okay. Because what I experienced this week was extremely traumatic. I don't know if it kind of translates to y'all the gravity. I've never had these types of deliberate misinformation like this, like deliberate attacks on my credibility. I've never ever had this level of a smear campaign ever. I've just never experienced that, and I've never had this many racists come on my page ever. So all of these things were new experiences dealing with YouTubers that have or influencers that have main feelings going to lose. But this was something totally different. This was a smart, like, collaborative, it was like attack. Oh, like, that I well, well. With that being said, let me bring up Emerald, and we're gonna go over the transcript of Jeff Metcalf's interview. Now, I'm not going to play the interview because we're not gonna play their content, but they don't own the English language, so we can use a transcript to read exactly what was said and go over some of the key points. Because it was 3 hours long and we don't have 3 hours to sit and listen to like all of these watermelon tones and all of this kind of stuff, we picked some key points out and gonna go through it. So Emerald's going to take the first excerpt and the timestamp as well. I can't hear you. Muted.
All right, absolutely. So, yeah. So the first timestamp, it starts at 51 minutes, and this is from 51 minutes to 56 minutes and 23 seconds. And this particular section, this is the watermelon felon. We just gonna jump right into it. So, talking about the watermelon felon and what leads to that. So he goes on to say, Jeff Metcalf, he says, "Let me make one up. Let me make something racist up, so y'all can go viral." I And then he goes on to say, "I got a new name for Mello, okay? Because he was such a little boy, y'all were trying to portray. How about watermelon felon? How's that one striking? I hope he enjoyed his first night in the cell last night, because he's going to have many nights to think about what the fuck he did. He sat there in that courtroom looking at his lap, looking like a little innocent child when the jury was in a box. But the second the cameras were off, he wanted to act tough. Well, tough guy." And then it kind of cuts here, but it's like, "Well, tough guy is in an orange jumpsuit now.
Shut up! Ain't nobody buying that.
People out there, all your little bots, all your little phone calls, all your death threats, and who's that big fag dude from Arizona? Lady Gaga gag on something. I don't know his name. Mr. Tough Guy talks big shit like the the crumbs. These are the crumbs on me. Oh, gee, Jeff, guess what? Go suck a dick to dude. That's your favorite hobby. You want to jump in my inbox talking about justice? You don't know the first thing about what happened on those grounds. You sit out there in Arizona or wherever the hell you are, hiding behind a profile picture, thinking you're making a difference. You're a joke." Now, he goes on to Tiffany Billions, and he says, "Tiffany Billions, you look like the effing water buffalo. She looks like a water buffalo. We're gonna start hurling insults. We can go back and forth, but here's the deal. I'm not gonna engage, bro. I'm gonna give you a little taste, and that's it. I'm done. Because you know what? You're not working. You're not worth the sweat of my balls. You sit there on your little platform trying to coordinate people to harass a grieving family, pulling up both phones, trying to dive into our lives. You have no class. You have no dignity. Your face matches your personality. I saw you sitting in those gallery benches trying to stare us down, and you look ridiculous." All right. So in that excerpt, you have two key racist tropes that are attributed to black people. Now, it is one thing to be a grieving father and you're upset and angry with people that you feel as though are in support of Carmelo Anthony's family. And then there's a whole total other thing where in your grief or your anger, you show who you really are by making sure that you insult the race of the defendant and you use tropes that have been historically linked to black people and should try to diss us. Now, I know that some of you guys already know about the watermelon trope and everything like that, but let's take a deep dive of that. So when someone uses this to mock a black person, they aren't making a random joke about fruit. This is a historical, weaponized character that dates back to post-Civil War era. All right? Historically, formerly enslaved people grew watermelon as a symbol of their new freedom and economic self-sufficiency. In response, white supremacists turned the watermelon into a visual propaganda tool to depict black people as lazy, simple-minded, and childish. It was used on minstrel show posters, postcards, and films to justify white superiority by portraying black people as inferior. When you hear the term today, it is a direct, okay, it is a direct link to that history. It's an attempt to reduce a person to a racist, dehumanizing character from the Jim Crow era. Now, the second part of it, he also called Tiffany Billions a water buffalo. A water buffalo is also a term linked to black people. And basically, in media analysis, this is what we call animalistic dehumanization. Psychologically tells us that when someone compares a person to an animal, they're intentionally trying to strip the person of their human traits like their morality, their warmth, and their complex emotions. By labeling a human being as a beast of a burden, the speaker is trying to move them outside of the sphere of moral rules. It is a classic tactic used to make it easier for people to disregard that person's feelings or their basic rights. It's not about the animal, it's about denial of humanity. All right? So you can go.
Yeah, so this is interesting because there were some words that I heard that in the beginning that Dominique had like kept him from the prayer, and some people were thinking that, oh, that's a bad thing. Why would you allow Jeff to come to the prayer? His son got killed, etc.
It wasn't even a prayer. It's a conference.
As much as they tried to say this wasn't a race thing, if they wait until the trial's actually done with to actually show their true colors. So now it's like there is no question about it. Like you're racist, and if you're racist, that the likelihood of teaching your children racist is very, very high. So we're seeing it all come out here. And it also makes me think of something that we said last time on the stream where we were talking about the dehumanization of black people. This idea that they have authority over us because it was law that we were 3/5 of a human being. So because we're 3/5 of a human being, that means that we don't feel like they feel. We're not on the same plane. We don't think like they think in their minds. So therefore, they have this type of authority over us, which I think is the same authority, personally, that could have been passed down to Austin Metcalf as well. The same level. What are you doing in here? I can put my hands on you. Kind of ordeal. So we see this dehumanization and using racial is classic, and it's coming out now.
And also see who he aligns himself with. People who are actively showing and using the Proud Boys as their muscle. And it's ironic that there was a gag order all year. However, this same person that did their first interview has been the mouthpiece to sound the alarm to a lot of these things. And it's like,
much because it's kind of, we see what it is. But it's like what is that saying? Show me who your friends are, and I'll show you like you are like with everyone.
They said, A is the approach. After you approach, there's B, C, D, So after that initial approach, we see it even with the whole Austin Metcalf situation. He approached first. I don't want to get too much into the case, but he approached first. For some reason, there is an obsession with black people where they just keep having to approach. Like race, I'm starting to think that with some of these racist people, that race doesn't leave their mind. They think about it 24/7. That's why every time you look at them, they look like they got a chip on their shoulder. So, it's just, this is just all coming out. This is proof. This is proof.
Not that we needed it, but we to the next part. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. You want me to read? I don't.
Let me see. Yeah,
because this was very interesting, right? Because I've done a lot of work in Frisco, and he talks about the demographics here, right? Now, this is the timestamp here is about at 2 hours and four minutes and 8 seconds, going to 2 hours 8 minutes and 14 seconds. And he goes on to say, everyone thinks you, Superintendent Mike Waldron, did such great things for Frisco. Really? Then why have declining enrollment? Why are we losing funding because of population and growth displacement? Why are we having people homeschool their kids? I can tell you because Frisco ISD is no longer what it used to be. Got in mind, no longer what it used to be. Just like it used to be.
Making America great again. What it used to be.
Right. And we're talking about what it used to be, whatever that means. It's no longer what it used to be. Just like this town is no longer what it used to be. Parents are fleeing this district because the standards have completely collapsed to accommodate people who don't even belong here. Now, I'm not here to talk about H1 visa fraud or different ethnic groups who have decided to invade Frisco. Everyone can live where you want to live, but this complexity of this city has changed dramatically, and I'm not saying this for the better. I'm not saying this for the better. We built a community based on safety, achievement, and now we're importing the exact culture we paid to get away from. Now that's interesting, before we that, because for those who don't know, that H1B visa that he's talking about fraud is this idea because if you go to Frisco, like I said, I used to do a lot of work in Frisco. But Frisco is about 30% Desi or like Southeast Asian. So we're talking about India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. Like, it's a lot of people coming there. And a lot of them are to me, in my experience, are great people. They're engineers, they're doctors, and they're a lot of time like tech, kids in tech, like IT, what have you. But what I've noticed was that I heard a big cry, especially from like white right wing folks about like was being invaded, and the reason that they're saying that is because H1B visas, what they're doing is that it's supposed to be a visa where you hire somebody with a specialized skill. This is something that Americans like can't do or do. And we have these people when they come, they can come to the country and work for America, right? But what they're finding, according to the alleged scam, is that they're hiring people to do stuff like, like a cashier, like something that anybody can do. Let's just say hypothetically, and they're doing it so much that and this is according to the allegations, of course, that now 30% of Frisco is taken over. Now a lot of people have an issue with that, mostly whites, and he in this quote proving to be amongst one of those. So, but people that don't belong here, we want
We want it where it used to be. So he doesn't just have a chip on his shoulder about black people. It's anybody else as well.
Right. And so this is a classic white flight narrative repackaged for a modern audience. By labeling diverse families as an invasion or culture we hate to get away from, he is suggesting that a school district value is tied to its racial homogeneity. Like being like homogenized, scapegoating neighbors and immigrant families. Like higher enrollment or budget deficits that are actually the result of broader economic shifts and district management, not the presence of diverse human beings. And as far as like the H1 visa, linking H1 visa program to school district displacement is a tactic designed to trigger fear of the other. The H1B program is and pay the same taxes as anyone else. Bringing this up has nothing to do with the school enrollment and everything to do with trying to characterize a specific ethnic group, in this case, often targeting the Asian community, which makes up a significant portion of Brazil's population as inherently fraudulent or not belonging here. Now, a part of this demographic is also like the Indian community as well, and that's here. Like this, like how it used to be. How it used to be was more predominantly white, is what it sounds like. Now, I don't live out there. I don't know. But my only guess is that what it used to be was more white people, less Indians, less Asians, less black. What it sounds like.
I don't know how it used to be before y'all started doing shit.
Differently. So yeah, that's my
How it used to be before y'all started dating and all that.
When you say Asian, usually they're talking about Southeast Asian. That's all. You go over there, you get the best Indian food you ever get in your life. Oh man, on a drive. Anyway, they women you'll notice over there is infantile specifically, and this relates. I remember one day he was telling me how he would go to church and like a lot of the white folks would get mad because he wore better suits. Now what here and they order all of these medicines. I've seen them pull up in Rolls Royce to their mosque. They pull up in or even pull up in they pull up in the latest the latest cars, the latest Teslas, Cybertrucks and everything. I got them on pictures. So seeing that is really making some of the people in that community very angry. But I'm gonna go ahead and continue because now he talks about something that went viral. He actually now tries to, as he says that, now tries to retract from quote unquote identifying as a racist, right? So he says you made the decision to let a white supremacist hold a rally, and this is off that video. I mean, a couple videos went around, but we'll speak about that video in a second. Um, you let a white supremacist hold a rally on the same grounds my son was murdered 3 weeks prior. Everyone thought I was going to jump on board with this jackass, Jake Lang. Well, guess what? My friend, another rally that Jake Lang had. Um, he said, yeah, the big black boy with the cowboy hat. Yeah, my buddy. I said, Bruce, you have to go my place. The DA says I can't go. The restrictions. So Bruce shows up and says, did you ask Jeff to use his son's image? No, Jeff stands with us. No, he doesn't. Jeff. What's going on? We were going to have this big political rally, the big racial movement. My exact words were this: I don't condone what I'm not associated with you. Take my son's name off your website. Do not use his image ever again. I don't support you. Don't ever mention my name. So all the black people standing around the courthouse went, oh, well, maybe he's not racist. No shit. I don't need a skin-headed group to defend my family, but I'm also not going to let the black activists pretend like their community didn't bring this violence directly into our school. Our school. That's how he ends that.
Yes, this is how I finally got rid of my joint pain. And not only that, but got better hair and glowing skin as well. Instead of going with fancy treatments.
That's how he ends that.
Yeah, and so, hold on, let me see.
Our schools, the black activists brought that into our schools. Even though it's interesting because even though he separates himself with the term racist, functionally, I'm hearing racist sentiments. All right, cool. You're not with Jake Lang. You're not with the skin-headed quote unquote, right? But at the same time, practicing, you're saying racist things out your mouth. Like,
right.
It's full of a racist.
It's like a fallacy, right? Like he's trying to like distance himself from a skinhead group to try to buy credibility, so his subsequent attacks on black activists sound reasonable. But notice the language. He claims black activists brought violence directly into our school. This is a dangerous inversion of the truth. He's using his platform to criminalize the act of advocacy, suggesting that the families of color I'm calling even the white people out, but he doesn't really even have true vitriol towards Jake Lang. He really has vitriol towards him. How he describes us and how he like, pushes that out. But that's the same thing with how I even feel like they arrested Jake Lang in the first place. It's like, look, we're being fair. We're not just arresting black people. That's kind of one of those things. Are both. The same way when like a token black person to be around them, like, look, I have a black friend. That's kind of what it is with this calling out of Jake Lang. It's like you are aligned with these people, and even though you say that you're not aligned with Jake Lang, what about the person that interviewed you that's clearly putting out these tones of anti-black and all
That person don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these people, they're there for likes. They're out there so they can become more. And they really don't care. You know, a very interesting thing that when I first met Jake Lang was at another protest. I was doing recording for this film that I'm working on. It's called Risk. It's about religious freedom in America. And this was in this anti-Islam protest. And the first time I've ever seen him, I actually heard about the showed up. The second time, which was the courthouse, he popped up. But that first time, I asked him this. I said, "Man,
No, Sway. No.
you got you know what I'm saying? You literally had a pig head out there drinking blood." And I said, "Yo, why are you?" I said, "Come on, why did people?"
And you.
He said, "Cause it's lit." I got in the car. It drove away. And then I realized, I'm like, a lot of these people who are like quote unquote extremists, white, that like these people, it's because it's lit. It gets the people going, right? So this
man.
somebody like this, it's literally
Ridiculousness.
It's like, oh yeah, you could say, oh yeah, Nat Turner just killing a bunch of white people, just randomly, just random white people. Some people, they're okay with distancing themselves with that because it seems like something that's so far in the extreme that, they won't really be held accountable for that. So we see this. This is classic. This is just classic.
They said about Ronnie Hinton.
Yeah. Go to the next part.
Okay, let's go to the next
part. That didn't even have anything to do with it.
Okay, so now he just started targeting some activists here, y'all. So this is timestamp. This is 2 hours and 11 minutes and 15 seconds, and then going all the way over to 2 minutes and 13 seconds. Excuse me, 2 hours, 13 minutes and 40 seconds. He goes on to say, "You got these social media accounts, these independent bloggers sitting up here trying to act like they're doing high-minded civil rights work. Dominique, you're an absolute fraud. You're out here doing little internet infomercials for your own brand, trying to hustle donations while a family is bleeding out in public view. You think you can come down to Collin County from Dallas and
Also, his brand. He's supposed to promote himself.
school, how our administration responds and how our courts operate? You're nobody. You have no authority here. You have no status. You don't pay
They
taxes.
kill me with that hypocrisy.
But
Yeah.
you want to ride the hotel.
Hey, everybody determines I'm gonna take this case. I'm gonna do this because it's gonna boost my career. Give me more clients. Give me more money. I'm gonna come on your stream because it's gonna boost me. All right, shut up. Y'all just try to say, "Oh, look what the blacks are doing. That is so. Oh my God."
Chat, follow behind him like blind sheep. You're being completely hustled. You're being fed a manufactured narrative by people who don't care about the truth or justice. They care about the metrics. They need the algorithms to push the conflict. They need the racial outrage to keep the lights on, to keep the cash flowing into their cash apps. And you're falling for it. Hook, line, and sinker.
It's classic projection for me. Because they are all, and what's funny is, didn't the Metcalfs raise money as well? Like, from my understanding,
They had a whole
correct me
bunch
if
of
I'm wrong,
GoFundMes.
but wasn't money raised on their side,
Everybody had.
or do you know?
The wife had a GoFundMe. The dad had a GoFundMe.
Yeah, so it's always interesting, and I have to do my own independent. I have to make sure, but from what I've heard is they've raised money as well, but they tried to make it to where anybody else who raised money is doing something wrong. It's like you're using this situation to line your pocket, even though you are a parent of a victim. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to crowdfund. How were you making a living before this?
That homeboy,
How were
you couldn't pay to bury your son.
So to try to weaponize people using GoFundMe's is always ironic because they're the main ones that run to this. Even the person doing the interview, like they're the main ones scripting lines. They want me dead, or like amplifying certain things to try to get more donations. Like that's the main reason for that.
I'm looking right now. There is a GoFundMe.
Baby.
His family heal, and it is raised $600.
Help him heal by giving him money.
$61 raised.
How do you help me heal?
That's 13.3K donations. Everybody can look it up. Honoring Austin Metcalf, help his family. So
time goes by. I'm so thirsty.
But they call it, I don't hear no race. At the end of the day, it is with victim of a father or not. White supremacy, victim of father or not. Like, thing that they're doing, and that's who you align with. How victim of a father or not, like period, like it's hypocrisy for me.
Yeah, and it's not even about a father raising. Like this is how they'll spit it. This is how they will spit it. Not they criticizing the family for raising money. They don't want, they don't want him to raise any money. It's not that. It's the fact that you're criticizing other people for raising money while you're doing the same.
Why do people do that? I don't get the problem. Don't worry about who's making money.
The numbers are about Hey, that's 600,000 that they talking about.
I mean, you my enemy, you my eye. You want me to
It's
foul?
the fact that you're trying to criticize others that makes it.
I gotta
it brings
stop.
it back
That
to
shit is some bitch ass shit.
I gotta tell you what you're doing, black person.
Sit in line, boy. Sit in line. Like all of that. Like all of that.
So then they go on. Let me see. Superintendent Paul starts going like crazy. Like this part, I remember when I was reading it, I was like, man, he goes like you from Dallas. He talks about the score third climax on the critics, right? It's quote unquote. So this isn't the timestamp. This is 2 hours and 13 minutes and 55 seconds and two hours 18 minutes and 45 seconds. Now I'm through with me.
Why we keep getting hung up?
Superintendent Howard, who folds like a sheep, who folds like a cheap tent under pressure from a piss poor activist. Nobody does infomercials about his company. Still talking about Dominique, I'm here. Let me be clear that you're an epic idiot, Dominique. Let me be clear. You don't put 2 cents together without ChatGPT. You have to use a computer program to formulate.
Wait, I'm sorry to pause you, but every day that one woman put her analysis up, it looked like a ChatGPT summary from NBC to me. I don't know for a fact, but it definitely didn't look like she did her own independent note. But go ahead.
So he said, okay, Superintendent Howard, who folds like a cheap tent under. That's an interesting choice of word. Who folds like a cheap tent under pressure from a piss poor activist. Nobody who does infomercials about his company. Let me be clear that you're an epic idiot, Dominique. Let me be clear. You couldn't put 2 cents together without ChatGPT. You have to computer program just to formulate an email to the school board because your own brain can't construct a coherent sentence. Tiffany Billion. I don't know what kind of glamour shot you steal from other people and put up in your profile, but it doesn't match your effing goddamn water buffalo looking ass. When I saw you at the courthouse, you're walking around the lobby like you own the place, whispering to reporter, trying to leak garbage information about my family. Your online persona is a total, just like the rest of you. Charleston White. You look like an effing crackhead. Even though you got money, you're the only person around who. If y'all want to talk to me, you know what I said. You were sorry. You lied your ass off and tried to tell people you paid to offer to pay for my boy's funeral. You couldn't even offer your hand in for a handshake. You're a grifting piece of shit. You want to pretend you're a pillar of the community, but you just a parasite feeding off a trial. Your character says it all. I don't have to say a damn word. Your actions speak for themselves. You are, but you and your little bow tie. What the hell is that, dude? Maybe you and Chris King are butt buddies. Like y'all swap ties. I don't know. He lives in Washington and he lived here in Plano. Thinks he's some intelligent dude, really? 1989 Saab. Oh, I'm effing impressed. Oh, look at me. I talk to my all day long. You put it on people so they can't see. I think you have some serious insecurities, bro. I'm a lawyer. Give some. You're not very good. Oh, I've done this. I've done that. You have not. You have to brag on yourself. You have to blow your own horn. Really? You're not a man. You just want attention. Maybe your parents love. But I don't know the way you are. Why? I can't explain it. And you know why? I don't.
That ain't true. What?
But yeah, we're with the word fantastic. I live in your head every day because you talk about me every day. Do think I'm so flattered that you think about me, but I'm not your type. Sorry. I figured a couple of months you'll be on the next hot topic, or you'll have some legal crusade you can join maybe for a lead possibility in your 89 squad. And the only thing about you is I like your dog. That's about it. In your house, dude, I'm not one to judge, but you don't live in some sprawling man.
Okay, I
Bring me
know.
a house. You look like a effing hoarder. Better yet, once you have a Tiffany move, once you have Tiffany move in and y'all could live together and do a podcast, that would be fine.
Who's
Stay
he
out
talking to?
like go kick rocks in somebody else's backyard because if you come in my backyard, you won't be kicking rocks. I promise. And this is the last paragraph. So all the people that still want to come F with me,
I'm gonna
go ahead.
see that Miss Burr.
Every blow. What? I'm still standing. I'm
Put the
still
heat
here.
pack on. I'm gonna see that. Awesome.
I'm going to listen to like a piece in the toilet and flush it. It just goes away. The same way, dude. Like I said, the same way, dude. You're all going to go away because guess what? Guess what? You can't make no more money. He's guilty. No more TikToks made. Oh my God, Mr. Metcalf is this. He's this. Oh my God, look, Carmelo's a little baby. He's innocent. No, he's guilty. He's going to prison. Yeah.
You're invited to join Phoenix Energy's next webinar, where you can drill deeper into our bond offering. We formally offer two private placement bond offerings for accredited investors. Target annual interest rates between 9 and 30%. Also, we offer a registered bond offering open to both accredited and non-accredited investors, with rates ranging from 9 to 12%.
Too big.
Yeah. Stop there.
All right. So, I mean, as you can see, he had a lot of
Photography.
for me. I didn't know about his relationship to Tiffany Billions or Charleston White. I had no idea about like their lawsuit or anything until I started covering this case. I purposefully did not investigate the side characters because a lot of times when you cover a trial or you have like a trending story, there's like side characters that are attached to it, and I didn't look at a clean palette when I covered.
I'm definitely not even gonna finish this one tonight. So y'all better appreciate my words because I spent time giving you my words. Recording my words. So what? Oh, wait, um, I mean, words to be my name to be to the front. For this one, gonna cut it and everything. With my own topography, my own letters, my own numbers, my own style. So I'm gonna put the name in the back like a regular jersey. But then everything is higher and my numbers are big because I had a certain theme or whatever. So it is what it is. But once I do my black border, I'm doing everything with the ink before I change the color. Then I'm gonna go back and do my border with the gray thread around the orange. Then I'm gonna do the gray border with the orange thread. This shit gonna be tight. Now I'm finished adding my reflectors. Put my trim on there. I cut it and ironed it. I have my zipper. I got 2 pockets for the front. They're gonna be black pockets. Not sure how I'm gonna spice that up, or I might just black them.
This one gonna have, I got different patches for each one. But this one gonna have this on it. Supposed to be my name over here, but that's too big, so it's one in the back. So I'm protected in my pocket. Top pocket, yeah, I'm protected. Top pocket. So this one I get a top pocket. And my zipper. No, the rest of them they're gonna be all different. But I
For the day. And once I went, I'm like, it seems like, you know, as soon as I started covering it, and as soon as I was a black woman, I was immediately under attack. It was, this person not telling the truth. I never had my credibility. Like, it was like, damn, are they specifically targeting anybody that is on the side of fairness and truth and not aligned with white supremacy? People who are black that want to be a voice, you know? So, like, listening to it, like, go off on different people who have spoken about this case. To me, it just sounds like you guys don't have the white supremacist message. You guys white.
Good morning.
My backyard, you want me kicking rocks, I promise. So, like, it doesn't sound like it's about justice or truth. It sounds like
I'm just spread it like this. Got fabric all over me. They're gonna be like,
right body who is going to
everything okay. We don't used to see you.
Right from our message.
Like, you think that's something like me?
I'm such a good journalist, right? Like, if I'm just a truth speaker and I have sharing the truth, I'm gonna focus.
I'm not going to Chinese people. We boycott them anyway. I'm talking to myself. I get good and ready to. Hopefully tomorrow. The more I say I need to do my nails, the longer.
Good, which good, which
What a weird line. It's helps us out. All right, let me let this trim. Finish the store. You know,
all of the to report. Let's run
exercises in here.
So that we're the only ones spending hours. Like,
Our school, it's there. You know, it's interesting too.
I feel like it was a lot louder. What's the speaker?
But it's just like this idea of legacy, right? Try to this idea of how we only about legacy, but yet they were accommodating of veterans. Protecting that blogger, protecting that blogger so that they make sure that that blogger gets in.
This one don't open?
Why would you?
Imagine no. This whole the whole thing opens up. It's weird for that not to open. Maybe I just don't know.
Sonic where it's like that now, it's like systematic. Yeah,
They filing for that one. Make it harder to clean it.
If this woman is on anybody's payroll, she seems to have her own agenda that aligns with some of the things that they have going on. I don't know who's on payroll, so I don't want to make that topic, but it seems like a split. It's not for me, you know.
when I say play payroll, I just meant like the city itself. Like, yeah, I don't know about.
Yeah, I don't know about that. It seems real quick,
It's definitely play, sure.
and it seems like a person. And also too, like, can you play what the judge said? Because he claimed that the reason why he didn't want to stream the trial is because he didn't want, um, you know, the media to influence it. But they have a person that is targeting blog, making shit more chaotic, spreading all of these hateful rhetoric. But that person is able to like spread all this nonsense throughout the trial, and that was fine. But I feel like that was part of the strategy.
I think I'm gonna let my hair loose.
This guy, I'm not gonna go any further. The second I see this guy, I was like,
Be a waste of girls. It's just raining. Oh, we go. Cause I need to get my timing right.
y'all have to.
So
So I have to show my okay, shit.
clock, get my clock.
You need to go find me.
Yeah, this is go for me looking for
Okay.
this guy.
All right.
I get to.
I'll see you again, boo boo. Next time I stop, okay? You know your mama love you. All right. I love you, boo boo. We gonna be spending more time together. I promise. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You my favorite girl. Yeah, bro, and it's for these folks that just they say shit with a straight face like it's really Bible. Everybody did what they wanted them to do. Usually,
I know. Right here. It's to work just right now. Okay, let's infiltrate all of these things into